Hi, my loves. How are we doing? All right. I just kind of feel like the person that you're connected with, I'm I'm seeing a little bit of Seven of Swords going on, even though I do feel like there is separation kind of being involved between the two of you. There's like your person's kind of being sneaky on something, and I keep seeing a fox. You could be seeing foxes right now, because I always say foxes are very sneaky, like, animals in general, but I'm kind of seeing a little fox out of this person. Very, very sneaky, very quick-witted, very... I don't know what they're up, but what's kind of interesting is I don't know what they're up to or what's going on. I just keep getting the term they're being sneaky or they're trying to be slick about something. So, and by the way, hi, I go long and detailed for a reason. So if none of this applies to you, sit right with you. You don't want to hear what I have to say. That is okay. I will be back some other time, but I just really want to talk about what is going on. Okay, so I got playful and then letting go right there. Okay, then I got denial. Makes me curious, like, as far as the sneakiness, I kind of feel like the sneakiness is they're trying to find their way back to you. But however, with this denial kind of sitting right there, I think I'm talking to a collective that maybe you're on the brinks of letting go. Or this may kind of sound funny, but it's like maybe, and I don't mean to trigger this collective, especially if this is an energy you want back around. I think they're trying to also let go, but it's like they don't want to right there, okay? And it's like kind of freaking them out. And like I said, I'm kind of seeing on both ends. I think they're scared that you're letting go and disappearing, and part of them is themselves right there. There's a lot of reflection done. I'm kind of getting a little bit of kitten love. Kittens could also be very significant. You could have just gotten a kitten, or your cat could have just had a litter of kittens is also what I'm hearing. But yeah, with that message, that's where I was saying, I feel like your person's trying to come in, if anything like that. I think they're reflecting mainly on literally the good times, like that kitten love, that like, youthful, like you see how he's like kind of playing. It's like a very playful connection between the two of you once upon a time. The numbers 44, 22, and 14 are very significant. Let me see what else is going on. Obedience right there. They're struggling with self-control. Number 48, if I haven't said that already, is very significant. Yeah, as I'm saying self-control, strength at the bottom of the deck, I'm telling you, this person, as triggering as this is to hear, they're trying to do everything they can right now not to reach out. Makes me curious. This could be a sign for somebody if your person is a spiritual person themselves, and they're kind of very aware about Mercury retrograde, Venus, and all that sort of stuff. Maybe they have a sense of that. If that's not the case, that this is just something that's kind of in their mind of like, again, with that letting go, it's like, no, I should be able to move on. And there is truly a tug of war going on, but what also is this playful. And then I got hope right there. I feel like it's this collective. Don't make it fit. Okay, I feel like, it's this collective. Like, yes, even though with that letting go, I look at that as kind of detachment. Yeah, focus right there. I feel like this part is this collective is kind of what I'm feeling right here. Yeah, reminder. I think with that letting go, if definitely this collective, if you're the part of letting go, I'm seeing more of detachment. I love this, picture for this card of letting go. It's kind of like, even though it's butterflies, it's that term I feel like this collective believes of, let the bird go. If the bird is meant to stay, it'll come right back. And there is something about you want this person to be free. There is a very beautiful energy out of this collective of how you kind of look at this person. Again, I'll break everything down, but like, look how, in her hand, she's like gently letting go of the butterflies. It's like, you don't want to hold this person captive. If anything, yes, you still have hope, but like, I feel like your focus truly is elsewhere other than this person. I have to say, so far, very lighthearted energy. I know where the sneakiness is coming in, because at first it was kind of nerve-wracking, because it could be a little, but I have to say, The only reason I'm saying I felt like the Seven of Swords, and like I said, most people do interpret that, yes, as a very brutal card, because it represents a strategy, because that's kind of what I'm seeing what this person's trying to do. But if they're struggling with self-control, there's something else going behind the scenes I'm not liking, but I don't feel like it's like all the way negative. We'll just keep breaking it down if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, that Strength card came out. Truly, I feel like the both of you right now are trying to have strength during this connection right now. You guys are true. There's a lot of mirroring energy going on. One more, obedience. Oh, and I also got 27, 17, 35. And High Priestess of Water. So I got the number 4 as well. You or this person could be a water sign. But that's where I'm saying, even if water signs not really applying, there's a lot of emotion. And again, I'm getting on both ends. I feel like this collective, you're trying to put literally your emotions to the side and focus on more, moving forward, mainly independently within yourself. And I think this person is trying not to let emotions control, which makes me curious if this person has always operated off of self-control. They're the ones immediately tapping into a masculine, again, gender doesn't matter, where you guys could have seriously rarely talked, is immediately what I'm getting during this time of separation. I don't think this is a person that was constantly in and out of your life. You could have truly not heard from this person in a long time. Like, I feel like with this obedience, this is something this person has always been at. Is no, we're not together. So, and I feel like it's out of a place of respect. But again, it's also pride and ego that got in the way. But it's also, I'm kind of getting an energy out of your person. Again, don't make it fit of, well, we're not together, so there's no reason for me to talk to them right now, or I'm not ready to talk to them, so I'm not going to talk to them. Don't make that detail fit. Your person does really good at not being very impulsive. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing like you guys could have had truly very minimal contact during the separation. All right. Now let's get into it. I want to see now more of this collective. How do you view this person? Again, I'm here to confirm how you're feeling. I'll tell you how to feel. Overall, I do feel like on both ends, it is very lighthearted with your person, especially if they're somebody that always keeps their pride and ego very close to their chest. That's where I could see the sneakiness, because sometimes having too much pride and ego sometimes can suppress honesty, okay? But side note, but I don't want to be too critical just yet. But I want to see, again, how does this collective, how do you feel about your person? What's interesting is I got an email that says Bae, B-A-E. That could be a sign, like you guys could have called each other Bae at one point, or Babe is also what I'm hearing. Okay, so I got odious opinions. Again, this is how this collective feels about this person. I'm all over the place. All right, odious opinions, inner child healing, visionary, and then divine feminine. Ooh, you're fixated on yourself. But I do feel like this is another maybe dynamic where literally opinions did get in the way. But that's where with that your connection isn't real, and inner child healing, and then visionary. There is something about this collective. This person, no wonder you do look at this person very lighthearted, even though you're in this place of letting go or detachment, however word you want to use, or simply for some of you, you could be truly trying to move on from this person. Is kind of what I'm getting as well. But regardless, it's like this person taught you something. For one, your own self-worth, but there's something specifically about this collective you could have truly had a hard time thanking for yourself at one point, and even not just with your person, okay? Maybe, like, for example, and this would set in with you, if you, like, went out to eat lunch with a friend, you had a hard time, like, oh, I'll get the same thing. Or maybe that's how it was kind of growing up, is, like, you didn't want to, there's something about you didn't want to step on any toes or feel too awkward. It's like, order what you want. No, I'll just get the same thing as my friend is getting, or I'll just get this, or I'll just get that. You really had a hard time being that masculine energy as far as like, nope, this is what I want to eat. It's like you didn't want to, like, for, I guess the worry I'm thinking of is like you go out to eat and the price is too high on that platter or that dish or whatever the case is. So you're like, oh, I'll just go for the cheaper thing. That's an example, but that's what I'm saying. You had a really hard time really standing up for yourself when it comes to your own opinions. And I think this, how you look at this person brought that out of you. Why did I do that? That is so weird. Why did I do that? Listen, I'm tired. I've barely slept this past few days, so I'm sorry. But anyways, that's, I feel like the biggest thing you look at your person is they taught me something valuable, which is thanking for